Hello. So today, or this evening, I should say, today's kind of over now. I would like to talk about my struggles with dermatillomania, which is also known as skin picking disorder. I struggled with this for a lifetime, to be honest. Since high school, I had kind of a rough transition from elementary school to middle school, and then from middle school to high school. I was even more isolated. So I struggled a lot, and then of course you hit puberty and your hormones, change. So yeah, like it began in high school. It's also known as excoriation disorder. And back then, little was known about it. Like, I couldn't find hardly anything about it, if anything about it, online. Like, I thought I was going crazy, going mad with this disorder that I had. And I tried a lot of things to prevent myself from skin picking. It got so bad to the point where I was doing it 7 hours standing in front of a mirror, picking away at my face, creating scars. It was awful. It put me into a trance-like state, and it was very difficult to get out of it. At the time it started, obviously I was still living with my dad. So he tried to help in his way, try to get me out of the bathroom and stuff and away from the mirror. But I was so hooked on it. It was like a drug. It was so bad that there would be days where I would miss school or miss work because I just couldn't have my face be a bullseye to people's eyes. I just didn't want to be seen. And so I isolated myself during these times to hopefully get it to heal better and look more presentable. Even though there's days that I had to go to school when I looked like I shouldn't have gone to school, and in my mind, because when I did, I would get comments, and the comments just made it worse for me. So, like, what happened to your face and stuff like that. Those comments are natural comments to make, obviously, but they still hurt inside. They still hurt because it just made the problem that I had more alive in other people's eyes, where I just wish it wasn't there to begin with. And anyway, I looked online, went to therapy, went to a number of therapists throughout my years for it, and did research. Later on, it became more known to the world that this was something that a lot of people were struggling with. And I found some things that were helpful a little bit, but never something that would cure it completely. Medications that I was taking at the time, which I tried many different antidepressants and anxiety meds, nothing seemed to stop it. There was one time where it stopped for a week on a medication called Zoloft, and that was a blissful week. But then it came back. There's tips and tricks like putting band-aids over the blemishes or areas that you're picking on your face, putting on masks, face masks, and putting something over the mirror to cover it in the bathroom, or taking the mirror down itself. But I would find a way to pick. I would see the chrome on the handle of the refrigerator and see my reflection in that and want to pick. So none of these things were permanent fixes. Another thing I tried was a lot of my therapists were like, well, you need to do something with your hands, and stuff like that. Like, for me, it really wasn't about the hands as much as it was ingrained in my mind that I needed to pick my face at spots that were there, at spots that weren't there. I just needed to do it to release anxiety trapped inside me. It was a coping mechanism. And, well, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. And also, like, turning off the bathroom light when you go in, stuff like that, to get you to stop. There's also things like, doing stuff with your hands, and like, there, for autistic children, there's this toy, I think it's called Tangle or something, but anyway, it's like a plastic toy that you can separate, and it's like a long noodle basically, and you can warp it into different shapes, and you can separate them, and they're just like pieces that are connected together. So there's like toys like that are like fidget toys, and I bought them. It didn't really help, but I tried. And another thing was, having a having a rubber band on your hand and slapping it against your skin every time you felt the urge to pick. That definitely didn't work for me. Or wear gloves, which my hands get really sweaty pretty fast, and it wasn't feasible for me. But it may work for someone else. I kind of want to just tell you all the things that I've tried. And some of these things have helped other people. I'm not saying that they don't help. Some of them have helped other people, so maybe they'll help you out if you are struggling with excoriation disorder. But I can tell you that I hit a real low kind of during COVID time. And I've been picking all throughout these years. up until my adult age. I'm in my mid-30s now. And what I can say is hitting rock bottom sometimes has a way of bringing an end to things. I had hit rock bottom. I had a terrible breakup. And it was a long-term relationship. It was a 5-year relationship, and we were living together and everything. But it ended terribly, not the way that I would have hoped in any fashion. And I spiraled out of control in a downward spiral to the point I ended up in the hospital. And I was there for maybe 2 weeks or a little more, I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I was heavily medicated, and I just remember I had a roommate, and I didn't have a mirror. It was basically a sheet, square, cut metal reflective piece of crap, I want to say, over the sink, and you couldn't really see yourself well in it, which was to my advantage. That, with a combination of really being over medicated. I think I was on, what was it? I don't really remember anymore. Depakote? I think I was on Depakote. But in any case, I was heavily medicated, overly medicated, to the point I did fall once and fainted. But I was with a stranger basically in this small little room, and I was pretty sedated, so I was pretty much in bed most of the time there. And I couldn't really see myself, and maybe it was the whole combination of those things. I think the medication really outdid me to the point where, like, that whole length of time, I couldn't function at all. I was in bed and sedated. So, I really was in a different headspace than my regular self. And something just switched off in my brain for the picking to cease. Like, it just went away. Once I got out of there, like, I'm just saying, once I got out of there, I was heavily medicated. Yeah, that was for sure. But I didn't pick anymore. And, you would think that would be like, oh, that's awesome. Like, you overcame something, I kind of felt bad about it. I kind of felt like I wanted to overcome this myself by trying these different techniques of tips and tricks, and wishing that they would work for me as they have for other people, and me being the one to fight this off. But instead, it was like the opposite. It was like the medication was the thing that reversed it, not my doing, not my strength, you know? So in that sense, I felt let down a bit. I felt kind of depressed about it, even though I was over it. Your mind is really can do a number on you. What can I say? So I felt kind of bad for a little bit. But then I got over it and I felt good, and I felt like, yay, I don't have to mess with my face anymore. Like, you know. But it was weird because I still, like, ever since it stopped, I've kind of been afraid of mirrors, to be honest. I kind of like look at myself in the like corner of my eye sometimes through the mirror if I'm in the bathroom, because I'm afraid it will come back again and start up again, because I wasn't the one that ended it in the first place. Who knows, that switch can just change and come back again, you know? Because it really was like a switch that just turned off when I stopped picking. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of that. But there are times where hitting rock bottom can be a blessing in disguise. So, yeah. I just wanted to share my story on excoriation disorder, dermatillomania, skin picking disorder, whatever you want to call it, because I know there are so many people out there that are suffering from this disorder like I was. And don't think that you'll never overcome it. There was times where I felt that I would never overcome it. I would never get through it. And that proved to be false. I waited a long time to make this video because I wanted to test myself to see if, maybe it would just be gone for a little bit and come back again. Because there would be roller coasters like that with my picking. But it is no longer with me right now. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're very courageous for having to go through it. I know it's not fun, and I know it is very isolating. It's a very isolating disorder. It's cost me friendships, you know, because there would be days where I would cancel on friends and stay home and hide, because the scarring for me my skin picking was directed towards my face. So it was never somewhere hidden. Like some people pick on their arms, they pick on their thighs, they pick on their back, their chest, places that are hidden with clothing. But for me, it was only directed pretty much towards my face, where everyone looks at, right? So, yeah. And also at the time I was in high school, like I grew up with a dad who is a single parent. So I didn't have that mother influence growing up. So in high school, like I wasn't taught how to wear makeup, how to camouflage blemishes or, what have you. So I would have to just go out with everything showing on my face that I've done to it, or not go out at all. So, yeah, obviously a mother influence would have been ideal to have, someone that could have helped me understand more of the womanly, taking care of the skin and makeup and applying makeup and stuff. That would have been super helpful. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video to give hope to those that are struggling with this issue, this disorder. I mean, you have to be so strong to deal with this disorder because it totally can wreck your self-esteem, your relationships with people, missed opportunities, missing school, missing work, isolating, growing depressed. Like, there's so many things, even suicide. Like, yeah, it can do a lot of hurt. And yes, I was at that point too. With it's just hard to talk about, but when you get to that low point, and you can't look at yourself in the mirror anymore, and you think it's never gonna go away, you think about dark thoughts like that, and I've done exactly just that. And I'm an example of someone who overcame it. Do I still have demons? Am I out of the woods with my mental health? No, absolutely not. I'm struggling with something else, which, I'll talk about too. But I just wanted to talk about skin picking and this disorder because I feel so passionately about it and strongly about it, and getting it out there even more so for people, because when I was in high school, there was nothing on it. Like, I thought I was crazy. And that is such a horrible feeling for a teenager to feel like they're crazy for picking at blemishes that aren't there, or picking at blemishes even. Just like, you shouldn't feel that way about yourself. And I just want you guys to know that I'm an example of someone that overcame it. So even though the way I overcame it isn't like something I myself overcame, doesn't mean that you can't get help through maybe medication, and that helping you overcome it, like it had helped me, or going to a retreat somewhere if you have the money, a rehab place or somewhere, just to get out of your environment for a couple weeks and away from mirrors, and just try to help yourself out, by getting out of that environment. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Stay strong. I know it's very difficult to go through something like this, and just know that there is an end in sight. You may not think so in the midst of it. You may not even want to stop it. You may not even be at that stage yet, but just know that you are loved. Even if you don't feel loved, just know that I am sending love your way. Okay? I don't know you, but I'm sending my heart your way if you are struggling with this disorder and you're alone. If you don't have loved ones there to support you, just know that there is someone out there that can relate to you and does support you and does want to see you fight this disorder. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. All right. Keep your chin up, and if you have any similar experiences to me, you can leave a comment in the bottom below, and if you want to follow my mental health journey, please subscribe to me. You don't have to, but it would be nice if you did support me too. Yeah, and put a like on this video if you are someone that is struggling with this disorder as well and can relate, or if you just want to support me. And I'm just doing this to help others because I really want to help others, and I think I can help others through my experience. So, yeah. All right. If you have any questions too, you can leave them in the comments below. Take care and have a good night or a good day, wherever you are.